Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm your host, Josh,
And Johnny.
and this is the 3 Yards and a Cloud of Dust NFL podcast. First off, we want to apologize for the long delay in between episodes. We tried filming a couple of weeks ago, or we're recording a couple weeks ago, but we had some technical issues that unfortunately forced us to delay.
And then life happens.
Yeah. Yeah, so we had to delay production, but now we're back, and hopefully this will be at least a weekly thing. So within that time, we've missed a lot. I mean, we haven't actually missed, but we haven't been able to report on a lot.
So this is your weekly update for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, yeah. One of the biggest things, obviously, is the tragic and untimely death of former NFL star Vincent Jackson, who passed away a couple weeks ago. I don't know if they've released any more details on the manner of his death or if they even know anything else. It's an unfortunate tragedy. Also, another NFL, I wouldn't say star, but another NFL player who passed away, Lewis Nix, who played for the Texans and the Giants in 2014 and 2015, those teams respectively. And then, and of course, the passing away of NFL star coach Marty Schottenheimer. So we just want to send out our condolences and our thoughts and our prayers to the families of those three individuals.
Yep.
And obviously, there have been some other big news. Of course, we're still all wondering whether or not Deshaun Watson is going to be traded here within the next few weeks or months before the NFL season starts.
If he's not, we pretty much already know he's
probably going to sit.
He's gonna sit his own.
Yeah. And then, of course, now we have one of the bigger stories is that Russell Wilson may be on his way out of Seattle. So there's a lot to kind of unpack there. Of course, 2 weeks ago, no, it was almost 3 weeks ago at this point, J.J. Watt was released from the Houston Texans. He has now officially signed with the Arizona Cardinals on a 2-year, $31 million deal.
With $23 million of that guaranteed.
Yeah. So, big payday for him. Good for him. I know a lot of people were probably thinking that he would end up on the Steelers with his brothers.
I was hoping that because that would be some fun games to watch.
Yeah, but I think the Steelers have some other issues they need to worry about. I don't think their defense is all that bad.
No, but adding J.J. Watt to that already strong defense, that would be dangerous.
I don't know if it would have made it that much better, though. It's like, I'm not denying that JJ's a good player.
You always see how TJ is when he rushes the passer. Now think about his brother JJ on the other end of that, coming from the other side too.
Yeah, but my question is, can JJ stay healthy at this point? He has not been able to play a full season since he came into the NFL. I think he played one full season, and that was it.
I think if he can get on the right squad, which I believe the Cardinals is, they can help him with more of his rehab to keep him healthy.
Well, I mean, that is the hope. So,
because you see, switching to sports really quick, because you see how DeMarcus Cousins went to the Warriors and now he's perfectly fine, hasn't got an injury. But
yeah, I mean, sometimes it does work out. Sometimes it could just be the training staff that you have, the medical staff that you have for a specific team. And I wish nothing but the best for JJ. I think he's an incredible player. I think he's an incredible human being. Especially after all that he did for the city of Houston when what was the name of the hurricane that came through there that caused all the flooding?
I don't
remember the name of it. I know he did a lot for that city though.
And
I know a lot of Houston fans were sad to see him go.
But he's definitely going to be a good influence on Kyle Murray now, too.
Maybe, maybe not. I mean, the whole thing, I have my own personal issues with Kyler Murray.
Everyone has some sort of issues with Kyle Murray, but I think JJ will definitely help him in the long run because he is still a young player.
So, I don't know how much JJ is going to help him. I mean, they play two different positions. They don't even play on the same side of the ball. So I
But
don't necessarily. I know he's going to help that defense.
he's gonna definitely help the defense, but I'm more thinking of Kyle's mindset on the game. Not so much his position, knowing that they do play on two separate sides of the ball, but helping his mentality and also his personality with getting to know the team a little bit better. Because you can definitely tell from this last couple of seasons there isn't a full connection yet.
Well, I mean, I don't think you can develop that in just 2 years.
Some players can do it in a year.
Although it
Some,
seems like he developed a decent little connection there with DeAndre Hopkins this past year.
oh yeah, but that's probably the only person.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't deny Kyler Murray's talent. I think he's a good, he's going to be a good quarterback for a long time. And I think he's just going to get better.
Oh yeah.
He definitely could just be. He could be another Josh Allen. Who's faster, and I don't know if he's got the same kind of arm. He's obviously smaller. He could end up bringing the best of like a Drew Brees and a Josh Allen together.
That one would definitely be an interesting combo to see.
If he could become a super accurate passer
like
and then
Drew
still
Brees
be able to run around like Josh Allen does.
That's a dangerous duo, and also if he can also have the strength as Ben to pretty much run through almost anybody if he needs to.
Yeah,
that would be one dangerous quarterback.
I mean, I would definitely like somebody to sit there and step up and be a rival to Patrick Mahomes.
And I think Kyler Murray is that person. He just needs a little bit of help.
Very well could be. We saw him make some big plays this past year. That huge play against, what was it, Green Bay?
Yeah.
In the finals, no. Was it Green Bay?
I believe it was Green Bay. It was towards the end of the game, but it's still in the regular season.
I'd have to go back and look at that one. But yeah, he made an amazing play, and DeAndre Hopkins obviously came up with probably catch of the year in the end zone.
He brought it down with two hands with three defenders around him, three tackles.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. If I am the owner of the Houston Texans, I'm like, when I'm watching that, I've got to be like, oh, fuck. we really screwed the pooch on that one.
Yeah, because I do remember that when he did that pass, he was facing a team that was mostly green and white. And the only team that was really wearing that during the regular season most of the time was the Packers.
The Jets.
But I know it wasn't Jets because...
No, I know it wasn't the Jets, but...
Because there was green and yellow on the helmet.
It doesn't really matter what team it was in Kansas City. It just matters that he made the play. It was amazing. It was incredible. Mind you, it was a bit of a letdown on the defensive side, but
you can't really do much else on defense. You have three guys around him, and he still somehow pulls it in.
It's a testament to the talent of both Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins.
And Hopkins is still a young player too, and that's definitely going to help him down the line.
I mean, he's not that young of a player. He's been in the league for at least 5 years now.
Yeah, but he's still in his 20s.
Yeah, so he's gonna.
And then you also have Kyler Murray, who's 22.
Yeah, so as long as you don't have Arizona, making a stupid decision like Houston did with trading him away for, pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, that was a bad decision.
That was really bad. And of course, has Larry announced whether or not he's going to retire?
He has not yet.
Okay.
I have not seen anything yet.
So, but he's got the benefit of that influence. You got Larry Fitzgerald, who's been in the NFL for such a long time. He's had his ups and downs.
But I think with J.J. Watt coming, he'll probably try to come back for at least another year.
I don't know. I think if he sees that... he's had a decline in his stats over the last couple of years, and I think that's just going to get more and more evident. I can definitely see him walking away before the season starts.
I see him
ending it on a high note, maybe.
I see him coming back for one more season to just play with JJ for a little bit, but that's really it.
Okay, so now that brings me to a question, though. One that I saw posed somewhere else. I can't remember where I saw it, but Do you think that the addition of J.J. Watt automatically makes Arizona a Super Bowl contender?
No, it does put them as a playoff contender, but it does not.
I don't even know if it does that because
it definitely will because they'll at least make playoffs, but will they make it to the divisional to the conference finals? No.
yeah, no, I don't. I mean, I will agree with you that I don't think they're a Super Bowl team just by adding JJ. I think they need to go out there and get a few more guys. Like I think they need to replace Patrick Peterson. I think Peterson's at that point to where maybe you could throw him into like a safety role
But
if you need some help there. But you've got to find somebody who's younger and stronger and faster
for a middle linebacker or a cornerback.
Yeah.
Because he definitely does do well as a middle linebacker too. I've seen him play that position a couple times. He does well. Just he definitely has the speed for the cornerback
Yeah, but
too.
he got burned a lot this past year.
Yeah, so he needs to definitely be back a little bit more and be able to recognize the plays a little bit more because being right up there, he won't be able to see as fast.
I think the best option for him would be to try and do what Charles Woodson did, and that is convert from corner to safety.
But the question is, safety or free safety? I'm thinking safety.
He's got to go strong safety. Yeah, I think so. Just because you're generally as a strong safety, you're more of kind of run support, but I won't deny that I don't think he's lost all of his ability just yet. So maybe he could end up as a free safety. That could end up working out.
But they do have a good free safety right now, and I don't see them.
And Budda Baker.
Yeah, I don't see them moving him to strong safety. Because he is definitely a lot faster than he is.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll go to. I don't know if he'll go to safety at all. It could just be simply that they decide that it's time to cut him, just straight cut him, and be done with him.
It'd be interesting if they decide to start practicing with him on the offensive side as like an extra blocker.
No, I don't see that.
I'm just saying it would be interesting. I don't see it happening.
I mean, it'd be interesting, yeah, but it's something like that's just not going to happen. You rarely ever see people who can successfully play both sides of the ball.
Yeah, but who knows? He might be one of them.
Only a couple of guys have done it, and it's only been a handful of times that they've even been given the chance. But J.J. Watt with the Arizona Cardinals is definitely going to shake some stuff up there, especially if we see some other quarterbacks on the move in the NFC West.
Oh yeah.
Because you could definitely see Jimmy Garoppolo out in San Francisco. You could see Russell Wilson out in Seattle. That would in my opinion, that would automatically put the Rams as the team to beat in the NFC West with the addition of Matt Stafford.
Oh yeah.
But that would, in my opinion, that would also automatically elevate Arizona to the number 2 team in the NFC West.
Yeah. My thing is, how many times did the Texans usually play the Steelers?
Depends on where both teams finish. So, like, next year they won't play each other unless their divisions are set to play each other.
So, but how often do the Cardinals play against the Steelers?
Once every 4 years.
But I think they're playing this season.
I have no idea, to be honest. I haven't looked at the schedules yet.
But I'll check a little bit later on the show. But I'm pretty sure they faced once this season, and I want to see the Cardinals and the Steelers.
I definitely would like to see that
because I want to see the change in the Cardinals defense against his brother.
Didn't Houston play Pittsburgh this past season?
I believe so.
It was either this past season or the season before.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, you got the big thing about Russell Wilson possibly on his way out in Seattle. He's apparently not happy with what's going on. He thinks that Pete Carroll has a little too much power. And I don't know if that's true. That's just what I saw reported.
This also came out today. It is actually 49ers actually called over to the Panthers about a Bridgewater trade.
Ooh.
That was another quarterback trade.
I like Teddy Bridgewater. I think he's a decent little quarterback. I especially liked him when he was playing with Minnesota.
Washington tried to trade for Mariota.
Really? I'm surprised that one didn't happen.
Yeah, I don't think they want to get rid of him yet.
Here's the thing, and I think I told you about this. The whole thing with the Raiders, though, is that the Colts actually tried to get a trade going for Derek Carr. And they were told, and this is, I don't know if they told the source or however this came out, but the source in the news said that basically the Raiders came back with a Derek Carr is not available at all. Meaning they are not moving on from Derek Carr just yet.
Yeah. And
so now I know I read several articles where they were looking to trade Mariota, but for the right price. And unfortunately, from the limited game time that he saw this past season, I don't think they were going to get what they wanted.
Yeah.
But I think they were hoping that he would get to play the full last 2 or 3 games of the season because they would have been in a position where they would have already been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they would have been resting their players for the playoffs. And I think they were hoping, especially with how things were going early on in the season. I know they had their ups and downs, but they actually had a point there where they were looking like they were going to be a really good team, and they were actually going to make the playoffs as most likely a wild card team. And then, of course, unfortunately, just that another unfortunate collapse in the last half of the season there.
Yeah.
Killed any chances they had. But I think they were looking to possibly have those last 2 or 3 games as being like an audition for Mariota for other teams, so that way they could get back some of their draft capital that they had recently lost in the past couple of years.
Well, with J.J. Watt signing with the Cardinals, Chandler Jones actually expressed that he actually has some sympathy for Russell Wilson because that's actually where he wanted to end up.
So we don't know if... So do we know if Russell Wilson is actually saying these things? Like, has he actually come out and said that he wants out of Seattle?
Yes, he has.
Okay.
He actually has posted on Twitter.
Okay. I mean, it's always a shame when you see something like that go down. Obviously the opinions that he is expressing are his opinions. They're what he feels. They're what they're coming from his perspective. We're obviously not getting both perspectives, because then we could probably try and find like some kind of middle ground of what actually may be going on. But obviously something is going on that he's causing Russell Wilson not to agree with how Seattle's being run, and so evidently he wants out. So now we get to play the fun little game where he might end up, because of the 2 big quarterbacks that want out of their 2 teams, Russell Wilson is actually the more likely to be traded.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And here's another one. Ravens quarterback Jackson, there was actually talks about how far apart they are from actually extending him.
Yeah.
Because he's pretty much done with Baltimore too.
Really?
And I believe he only has 1 more year on his contract. So if they don't come to terms before the end of the season, there's a good chance he's not resigning.
The problem is he hasn't done enough. He hasn't done enough for that team to warrant a big contract.
It's not. I guarantee it's not that he wants a big contract. I think he.
I think he does.
I think it's for how long he's been there. The setup around him is not his setup anymore, and he wants to move and create a new setup at another team.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's part of it.
That's a possibility. The whole thing is though, honestly, I think Lamar Jackson's best chances are with Baltimore. They've got to get him some good weapons. So let's go ahead and move on. Let's jump back to Russell Wilson real quick, because I'm really interested on where he could end up if and when Seattle does end up trading him.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's several teams out there that are in dire need of a quarterback or a quarterback upgrade. And you could basically you can rule him out of going to at least 3 teams. He's obviously not going to Arizona because of Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
He's not going to Los Angeles because of Matt Stafford. And then another reason he's not going to those 2 teams, plus the reason he would not be going to San Francisco, is because they're all division rivals. And that's one of the key things. Unless you are getting something absolutely amazing in the trade, you do not trade with your division rivals.
Nope.
So
the only thing that he can do is jump out of his contract.
Yeah.
And see about signing with one of the division ones.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think he'll get out of his contract. You just got to find somebody who's willing to take up his contract in a trade. And, obviously, with Phillip Rivers retiring, you've got Indianapolis, who's a prime position for him.
Yeah.
And that would be, honestly, that would be really interesting to see, given who Russell Wilson defeated in a Super Bowl several years ago.
Mm-hmm.
A former legendary Indianapolis Colts quarterback in Peyton Manning.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't that be crazy to see him go to Indianapolis and just make a dynasty there?
That one would be definitely a good one. Definitely.
So another possibility for Russell Wilson is the Chicago Bears. Because they are so close to having everything they need to sit there and add Russell Wilson. That would absolutely make them a Super Bowl contending team. Plus, who wouldn't want to see a Russell Wilson Aaron Rodgers matchup twice a year?
That one would be a fun.
That would be a fun one to watch. I would watch both of those games because the Bears already have so many good pieces, and if they can sit there and make the playoffs and actually play well in the playoffs under a quarterback that is as inconsistent as Mitchell Trubisky is, then adding Russell...
Trubisky has only been in the league for, a year?
3 years.
Oh, okay.
3-4 years, something like that.
But he's been pretty much starting all 3 years, though.
Pretty much. This was like the first year he actually kind of lost the starting job to Nick Foles at the beginning of the season, but neither of them... Well, actually, no. Trubisky, I think he started the first game, and then he lost the job during the season to Foles.
Yeah, he lost it during practice between the first and second season.
Game, you mean?
Yeah.
Then, and he somehow managed to gain it back later on in the season because he was actually playing well. And I mean, there have been moments where Trubisky has actually played extremely well, like that wild card game. He was actually playing really well. It was just mistakes that other players were making. His wide receivers dropping the ball.
Yeah.
That one his wide receiver dropped in the end zone was huge.
That was actually a really good pass, too.
I mean, it was perfect. You couldn't throw the ball. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Russell Wilson could not throw that ball any better than what Trubisky did. Right into the guy's arms, and he dropped it. He let it go right through his hands.
Yeah, and that was just a bad move on the receiver.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to say that just one play cost them the game, but who knows how that could have
changed
the game momentum-wise.
Yeah.
It could have been the shot in the arm the Bears needed to win that game. But obviously that did not happen. So I think the Bears, they finally, if they can go out and get somebody like Russell Wilson, they need to.
And then, still talking on Russell Wilson, he did also post a video on Twitter 4 days ago of him walking out multiple ways, saying he's getting ready to cook, but for which team?
Yeah. To me, maybe you could hold on to Trubisky, but you've got to find somebody who can go in front of him. You have to have somebody who, like Russell Wilson, who could maybe teach him and train him up. Because obviously there is the talent there with Trubisky. He has the ability to be a good quarterback. And I honestly believe if he were to be able to sit behind somebody like Rodgers, Brady, Russell Wilson, Drew Brees.
Carr would actually not be a bad one either.
No, I don't think
he is definitely a good quarterback. He just needs more pieces around him.
They need to fix that damn defense. The Raiders need to fix that damn defense, and that is something I'm going to get into here within the next couple of episodes, because I'm going to be calling out my boys on that one. I'm sorry. As everybody knows from the first episode, I am a diehard Raiders fan, but I am also not afraid to call them out for the bullshit.
And I'm a Miami fan, and I'm sorry, Miami should not have won that game.
No,
that was
Miami had no business winning that game. There is no good reason Fitzpatrick should have been able to come in there and do what he did.
It was that one face mask play that Fitzpatrick literally threw the ball up, that literally put them in the position to win. Yeah.
The Raiders go over and knock that ball down. Game's over.
Yeah.
They win.
Because that. Now,
I mean, obviously,
at that point, it would be first down because of the 15-year-old face mask penalty.
Yeah.
But
they still have the better chance of winning.
Yeah, because they would still be behind the 50-yard line.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot of work that needs to be done on that defense. I think they have some key pieces like Maurice Hurst, like Max Crosby, Cleveland Farrell. You know, they're young guys on the line that are getting better every year, and I think they're going to get better. However, they still need some major pieces in that secondary. They've got Jonathan Abram, but I'm sorry, one guy is not good enough. They need to fix their linebacker problems too. Like I think I've told you this before, but I was pissed when they didn't take Devin White.
Oh yeah, that one I do remember you saying, and I'm sorry, that's one guy that they should have picked up because
they had the chance. He was right there.
Yeah,
he was right there.
They literally saw him. He was right there. They could have picked him up. He was like, no, tossed him in the trash and let another team pick him up. And now
they
look
let
where
Tampa Bay get him.
Yeah, and look where he is now.
Yeah, he's a Super Bowl champion. After 3 years in the league? 2 years. 2 years.
2 years.
I think this was his second year.
Yeah, and
which means when they went and used that first pick to go get Cleveland Farrell 2 years ago, they could have taken Devin White and had him cemented in the middle of their defense.
Because he is definitely a good person to build around for the defense.
Oh, he would have been the perfect person to build that linebacker core around. Because they went out and they got Raekwon McMillan from the Dolphins, who's actually a stud player. I really like that pickup.
Yeah, and
last year they went out.
He would definitely been a good pair with him.
Yeah, they went out and got Nick Kwiatkowski, who played his heart out this year.
Oh yeah,
he did. He left his heart and soul on that field.
And if he can continue to do that, no doubt about it, the Whales will make playoffs.
Yeah,
they just need that extra middle guy.
Yeah, and of course, I'm totally spacing on his name right now, and I shouldn't be, but the linebacker they got from the Rams.
I'm going to look that up. So
he did not play, but the whole thing is he did not play up to the level that he played in with Los Angeles. Corey Littleton, that's who it was. So Corey Littleton is the one that I couldn't think of. But yeah, so if Corey Littleton can somehow return to form next season, then I think the linebacker core will be solid. I think they still need to pick up some young guys that they can train up to replace these guys.
Yeah, well, it's like the last year, it's like he did sign a 3-year, $36 million deal. So
yeah, so they've got him for a few years.
A couple more years, yeah. This season and next season. And if he does well enough this season, there's a good chance that they're going to extend him next season.
Well, he's getting close to his 30s. So I don't know how big of an extension he would get.
At least a couple more years.
Because both him and Kwiatkowski are going to be 30 years old by the time their contracts are up and they're due for extensions.
Yeah.
And, you know, with linebackers, sometimes you can get some good ones that can play into their mid-30s, but not for everyone. They're pretty much, I'd say linebackers probably have the shortest career span, or the second shortest career spans, the first being running backs.
Yeah, and so basically by the end of next season, he would have just turned 29.
Yeah, so he will be 30 at the end of his contract.
No.
Because this will be the second year of his deal.
Yeah.
He's got one more year after that.
Yeah, and he's 27. He turns 28 in November.
Okay, so he'll be 29. So yeah, I mean, you could take a chance on maybe another 2-year deal, but it's gonna have to. He's gonna have to play a lot better than what he played this year, because Corey Littleton is not known for being a pass rushing quarterback or linebacker.
No.
He's not. That's not him. He's a run support linebacker, and he did not support against the run at all this season.
Well, they also moved
And I mean,
him,
he even admitted that himself that he was not playing up to snuff.
and but you also got put a little bit of bad credit to the Raiders too, because they did shift him over a little more than he should have. He should have been too. They
Not so much.
Because they pushed him a little bit more towards the NOP, so it kept opening it up that edge.
Well, and the problem is too, he got hurt there for a little bit as well, and so that kind of affected him as well. He was probably playing injured for a game or two. But obviously, the addition of Raekwon McMillan was actually pretty big. I like I said, I liked that move. I liked McMillan as a player. I think he was a good addition to that linebacker corps. But like I said, they need a few more pieces.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, Tanner Muse, he has the potential of being a really good player. We didn't really get to see that because he got injured and got put on the IR for the entire season.
Yeah, and because a lot of players got injured in the second, third week.
Yeah, well, and then of course you had that big COVID incident there.
Well, and a lot of that happened early on in the season.
Yeah.
You had a good amount of starting players from a lot of teams that were out for 2, 3, 4 weeks because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that whole thing went on from the earliest for injuries and COVID, starting in week 2 with probably 3 or 4 running backs going down, 3 of them being the Giants, and it went all the way through about week 6, 7 for the good portion of it.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll cover more on the Raiders a little later as we get into this. Because I do want to do that divisional breakdown where we talk about what the teams need and stuff like that.
And we'll be setting that one up one of the weeks before we record, and we'll already have all that set up, so we'll just be reading off basically what we would have.
Yeah, and we've also we want to do a mock draft for you guys too.
And also a mock draft of what would have actually happened in the 2002 draft when Tom Brady was drafted.
Wasn't he taken in 2000? He might have been. I think he might have been taken in 2000 or 2001.
Yeah, it was one of those.
I think it was 2000.
It was one of those 3 years, and
because he was already.
What would have happened if Tom Brady was taken first overall to that first round pick?
Yeah, because they won the 2001 Super Bowl. And that was Tom Brady's first, because that was the year of the Tuck Rule.
Oh yeah.
Against the Raiders. Oh, bad memories. Bad memories. I mean, I was only 11 years old. I was really just kind of getting into football at that point in time. But it's like to see that, and I mean, oh God, that was terrible. And to have to sit there and keep hearing people talk about it. Ugh.
Yeah.
So my hatred of Tom Brady was cemented at a young age.
Yeah, he was drafted in 2000.
Yeah.
And
but I want to do a redraft where it's with what if Tom Brady had been taken first. So we're gonna do that here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, here's the funny one. The total yardage he had was the lowest yardage he had in his entire career.
Well, yeah, because he didn't start as the starter that season.
6 yards. That's all he had. And then 2008, he only had 76.
Well, that would be the year that he had that gruesome ankle injury.
Yep. And that was
in the very first game of the season.
Yeah, he was out not even before the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, that was the Matt Castle year, right?
Yeah.
Where Castle came in and took over for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and
got him the starting job with the Chiefs that ultimately failed.
Yeah, he actually did really well with that team for that year.
Well, I mean, yeah,
I mean, with the New England, he did really well.
No, I know he did. I know he did because it was. You got to understand why he did that well, because
he had pieces around him.
You had Bill Belichick, who basically built the team, and of course Tom, helped him build that team. But Tom was most likely still calling the shots from the sideline.
Oh yeah, actually, if you
Because if you go back and you watch some of those older games that year, he was there every game, and I think he had a headset on every game as well,
he
even
had
on
a
the away games.
he actually yeah he had a headset on and he actually had a clipboard.
Yeah, he was calling the plays. So
And during that time period, a lot of them were still covering their mouth, and he was doing that quite a bit when they were on offense.
yeah, and of course, what happened when he went to Kansas City? Well, it didn't translate because he didn't have Tom Brady calling the shots for him anymore.
No, it's like they saw what they saw was him doing well. They didn't see that Tom Brady was calling the shots from the sideline, knowing what play to throw.
Do we want to talk about the Steelers situation real quick?
Yes.
Okay. So obviously, two of the biggest questions are: is Ben Roethlisberger going to be back as the starting quarterback next year? Number two question is: will Juju Smith-Schuster be back with the Steelers next year? And number one, with both of those, what's going to be the impact? Is there they recently let go a lot of their offensive coordinating staff. If I remember, they Tomlin gutted the entire thing.
Yeah, and with Ben, I say yes, he's gonna be starting again because
I believe so. He will,
because I'm pretty sure they're gonna try to pick up a new quarterback, and they want him to be behind Ben for at least one more year because they have been talking. They have been talking and getting a new deal set up with it because of the cap space and everything. They wanted to keep him because he wanted to play another year. So they were able to figure out a new deal and everything. It just has not been put out yet.
Yeah. The biggest problem I have with Ben is he's a lot like Aaron Rodgers in the respect that they don't have the proper mentality or the want to train the new guy. Whereas somebody like Peyton Manning, Drew Brees is probably the perfect. If you could sit behind a quarterback at the NFL level for a couple of years, Drew Brees would be the number one guy to do that to, because he's going to sit there and teach you the game, because he understands in his head that, hey, yes, I'm out here to perform and be the best that I can be while I'm here, but I also know I'm not going to be here forever.
Yeah, and
I think I don't know if this is true. I haven't gone back and watched this yet, but the game that they lost to Tampa Bay, some people are saying that at the end of the game, it could be seen that he went over to Jameis Winston and said, "This is your team now."
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. I'm not sure if you want Jameis Winston as your starting quarterback. Like, yeah, he can throw for a lot of yards. He can throw for a lot of touchdowns, but he's also going to throw for a lot of touchdowns to the other team as well.
Yeah,
or at least that's what he did in Tampa Bay.
But it's like I definitely see Drew Brees coming back from one more year, being
I'd
starter
love to see him.
for the Saints, because you already know if he comes back, he's going back to the Saints.
Oh yeah.
You know for a fact that Aaron Rodgers will be coming back. You know that.
But what I'm saying is the problem is Ben Roethlisberger is not the type to train his successor.
No, but you can always hope. That's the thing that they're hoping for, and I think that's part of the contract that they're gonna be talking to him about is helping the new quarterback, because he is not gonna be here forever.
Yeah, unfortunately, something like that's just not gonna go into a contract.
It won't be in a written contract, no, but you know that that is definitely something they are going to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Some people aren't doers; they're teachers. Some people aren't teachers and not doers. Or I mean,
and then you have Tony Romo.
Hey, you know what? Tony Romo made the best of a bad situation. I actually liked his time in Dallas. I thought he was a great quarterback. I think he's a great analyst.
No, I'm saying all to all, he is the best person all the way around, being able to call the game.
He's just a great person.
Call the game, great player, and a great teacher.
Yeah.
He's one of the few players who can actually do all three.
Yeah, I think I mentioned in the first episode, I see him on the sideline as a head coach in the next 5 years.
But you already know he's gonna want some dough to do that.
I mean, I could see Jerry Jones talking him in to come and take over for Mike McCarthy
Oh yeah,
within the next 5 years.
I don't.
I'd love to see that. Could you imagine Tony Romo coaching Dak Prescott in Dallas?
Oh, that one would be fun to watch. But with then
That'd be another 5 Super Bowls right there.
definitely. But then going back to the Steelers with Juju, I'm pretty sure they're gonna come to agreement with a deal. Yes, it may not be as much as Juju wants, but if he really goes with staying in with the Steelers, he will take what they give him.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
And this will definitely prove that doesn't matter what you pay me, I want to stay here. And that would definitely show the Steelers that, hey, regardless, he's gonna top perform and he will want to stay here and help out as much as he can.
Yeah. The thing is, so I personally believe Juju Smith-Schuster is a better wide receiver all around than Antonio Brown ever was.
Oh, without a doubt.
Now, don't get me wrong. I know Antonio Brown had talent.
He still has some talent.
Yes.
But
he never had as much as Juju has. Because now I realized that after that first year, Juju basically got taken away. They learned how good he was. Plus, Antonio Brown started becoming a diva. That's why his production dropped. Because they were covering him. They were double covering Juju. They were leaving Antonio Brown open. And he just, because he was pissed off with the Steelers, he wasn't playing up to his full potential. And then, of course, you have the whole fiasco with the Raiders.
And I was actually listening to a sports radio station during that time period after he got released and NFL banned him for a couple years. He literally hopped on to a show basically saying, one, he's not working out, and two, he really is like, if they call him and say, hey, we want you, hey, he will come, but other than that, he doesn't plan on going back. And you see where he is now. Tom Brady decided to convince the Bucks to pick him up. And yes, he won another Super Bowl, but it's not me. I don't consider him as a Super Bowl champion because one, he wasn't there all year. Two, it's like if he did not get, he probably would have at least one more real one if he didn't get ejected from the NFL.
Yeah, maybe. The whole thing is I agree he doesn't have as much talent anymore. Yes, he did catch a couple of touchdown passes in the Super Bowl, but that's because of all the other talent Tampa Bay had has. At wide receiver, they were busy covering them. You had Gronk, who actually made a couple of big plays.
The one big play that Antonio Brown had was that one low pass that Tom Brady threw. But
even then, it was like the only reason he was as open as he was because all of the other better players were covered.
Yep.
So
it's like, yes, Antonio Brown knows how to.
And plus, you've got Tom Brady as your quarterback.
Yeah, it's like Antonio Brown is definitely a good wide receiver when it comes to the short field because he can break off and get open quickly. Yeah. But when it comes to long field, that's not his strong suit.
Not anymore.
So within 5 yards, he can get open pretty quick. But anything after 5 yards, you need to go someone else.
You know what would actually be hilarious? Is if the Steelers failed to re-sign Juju, and he ended up signing with the Bucks. That would be hilarious. I would love to see the interaction between him and Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown, Juju Smith, Juju, and Tom Brady. That one would be.
I'm sorry if they signed you. If by some happenstance that Juju were to sign with the Bucks, Antonio Brown would be gone like that.
Yeah, because you already know that relationship is not good.
And the only reason I think that it could even be a possibility is because the Bucks are most likely not going to re-sign Chris Godwin.
Nope.
So Yes, they've got other players. Gronk plans on coming back. You've got Mike Evans, who's solid. He's a great receiver still. He's not as fast as he used to be, but he's got size. He's got physicality. He's going to be good into his mid-30s.
Yeah, and I don't see Gronk really leave.
How old is Mike Evans, anyways? Is he already in his 30s?
We'll
take it.
I don't see Gronk leaving without Tom Brady. I really don't.
And I think Gronk at this point, if he doesn't retire before the beginning of next season, then I could see actually Gronk sticking around to maybe 1 year after Brady.
Mike Evans is actually only 27.
He's got several years left then.
He's gonna be 28 before the beginning of the next season.
Yeah, so I was right in saying I could easily see him playing into his mid-30s. He could easily be.
He has at least another 7 years.
Well, I wouldn't.
Because that would put him at 35 at that point.
Yeah, I could see him playing until 33, 33, 34, maybe 35 but it all depends on who comes in after Brady.
Yeah.
And whether or not he decides he wants to go to another team.
Or if they decide to pick up Wilson to just stick behind Brady for a year.
That won't happen. They don't have, number one, they don't have that kind of cap space for that. I mean, they're already going, basically it's already been decided that Evans is staying and Godwin's going to free agency.
Yep.
Pretty much. Now, it's not for 100% sure that Godwin's going to be gone, because they could easily offer him a deal that he'd be willing to accept, especially if it means him coming back and playing for Tom Brady. How he rallied that team this year. If he could do that again next year and win him a second Super Bowl in a row.
Oh, that would definitely be big.
Which is something that hasn't happened since Tom Brady did it last with the Patriots.
Oh, yeah. Actually,
we've had a couple of teams that have gone to 2 in a row, but the last team to win 2 in a row was Tom Brady with the Patriots.
Yeah, and
he's done that twice.
Yeah, and that's why I was going to say, it's like, was it Tom Brady? No, it was Tom Brady. Yeah.
And if they can keep that defense together with how they came together late in the season, and they started to play really, really well late in the season and obviously into the playoffs, that's primarily what basically won them the game.
Oh, yeah.
In the Super Bowl.
Because especially whatever Tom Brady's team wherever Tom Brady is, you already know that his mentality completely changes once playoff hits. And everyone's mentality goes with Tom Brady. And you saw how that ended up playing out for a lot of teams who beat him during the regular season.
Question. So, you remember how good I wouldn't say how good the Giants were, but the Giants were a decent team the 2 years they won the Super Bowl.
Yes, but they also have Eli Manning.
Right. But who would you say would be their AFC equivalent within, like, say, the last couple of years? Like, that kind of team, who would you say would be their AFC counterpart now?
Now?
Would you say the Browns?
Yeah, I would say the Browns. Because...
Okay, so, picture this. So, now that defense that played in the Super Bowl, that is a 16-0 Bucs defense.
Yeah.
I mean, clean sweep on the season. If they play like that all year next season, that is a perfect season Bucs all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What if Brady were to do that and then get beat by the Browns in the Super Bowl?
That one would be funny.
Because you've got the highlight reel wide receiver in Odell Beckham Jr., who actually may be on the move himself.
Tom Brady will literally put his hands on his face. It's like history is repeating itself.
Because the history has already repeated itself with just this year. Tom Brady did exactly what he did to Russell Wilson to Patrick Mahomes. And I showed you the picture of that.
And the very next year, he went 16-0 and lost in the Super Bowl.
No, because Russell Wilson was not in the league when Tom Brady did that. That was before Russell Wilson.
That was literally just before Russell Wilson.
That was a few years before. Because remember, the Giants did that in the mid 2000s, or
Oh no! You know
They
what?
did it
I was
in
thinking.
2006,
I was
and
thinking
they
about
did
the
it in
Colts.
2008.
I was thinking about the Colts with
I remember,
Manning.
yeah, I remember exactly the 2 years that they did it. They did it in 2006, and they did it again in 2008. And I believe 2006 was the 16-0 Patriots.
Yeah.
That was the first time they did it. The first time the Giants beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And Eli Manning was so happy about that too.
Well, because I think Peyton had won it a couple years before that.
Yeah. Peyton Manning still.
But then, of course, he was really happy when he won that second Super Bowl.
With a different team too.
No, I'm talking about Eli.
Oh yeah, Eli.
Because at that point, he had more Super Bowl wins than his brother. And one thing that Eli will always be able to hold over his brother is that he's perfect in the Super Bowl.
He's perfect in the Super Bowl, and he's perfect in the Super Bowl against Tom Brady.
Which, how many times did Peyton lose to Tom in the conference championship?
3, I believe.
How many times did Peyton wish he was playing against a Tom Brady team that was in the NFC, not in the AFC? Every fucking time.
4 years in a row.
But yeah, so, I mean, it would be... Getting back to the Steeler thing, though, what they have to do is they probably have to go out and find a quarterback that's got similar talent to, say, Jalen Hurts. Because we all saw how good Jalen Hurts actually played this season.
Yeah.
When he came in and took over for Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Wait, Carson Wentz went to the Colts. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot that. I cannot believe I forgot Carson Wentz went to the Colts. So the Colts don't need a quarterback. We can eliminate the Colts altogether. I am so sorry.
I actually forgot about that one.
Yeah, I can't believe how that slipped my mind. People are going to be like, you're going to be listening to this whole episode, us talking about quarterbacks going to the Colts, like, they just got Carson Wentz. What are you talking about? Are you saying Carson Wentz not good enough? And then they're going to hear this last part, and they're going to be like, you guys are such dumbasses. He is, but I'm not. I mean, actually, I just forgot.
He's not wrong.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
He's not wrong for one, but two.
No, but
this just tells you that
was a blonde moment for me.
But this just tells you that we are not sports analysts at all.
Not yet.
We are just two regular people.
We'll get there.
This literally just tells you what we are.
Once we're, I'm already no longer working for Amazon, but once you're no longer working for Amazon, then we can totally dedicate our time to this.
Depending on what my other job is.
Yeah, you won't need another job when you're making hundreds of dollars a week on this.
I will.
Or thousands of dollars a week on this.
I need like
$10,000 a week on this.
I need like
7. Shut up and believe.
No, I wasn't saying it. I was gonna say I need 7 figures a week.
Oof. Yeah. No, I don't think we'll ever get there. I don't think any YouTube host has gotten there yet, except for maybe Mr. Beast.
Oh, Mr. Beast is probably making 8 or 9.
With how much money he gives away? Oh my God.
He can literally. He actually did a video for fans out to play Monopoly for real money.
Jeez.
And not only gave the 3 losers $2,000 each, he gave the winner almost $100,000.
Oh my God. But yeah, so the Steelers would have to find a quarterback like. Basically, the model quarterback right now I have in my mind is Jalen Hurts, because I think Jalen Hurts is probably the only one that's maybe ready to make that leap as an NFL quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously, the true test is going to be next season, even though the Eagles say they're looking for another quarterback to come in. And, of course, you've got Alex Smith, who is parting ways with the Washington football team.
Yep.
Hasn't happened officially yet, but there's a lot of chatter about it.
I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up dragging out till next week, and literally just before we record, it happens.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, they said it was going to be happening here within the coming days. We're recording this on Monday. So, yeah,
March
we
1st.
could definitely see it. Definitely see it by the end of the week. So, yeah. But they need to re-sign Juju. They need to find the successor to Ben if they're going to have any hope to winning a Super Bowl here within the next decade.
If they really want a successor to Ben, they would literally have to trade up to the number 1 pick in the draft this year.
They're not getting Trevor Lawrence. No way. It's not happening.
No, I don't see it happening. I'm just saying, if they really want someone to take over for Ben, they will have to trade up to that spot.
Yeah.
I already know the Jaguars are not giving that up.
No, they would be stupid too, because they need somebody. The Jaguars have no choice but to take a chance on Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
So.
And with how well he played in college and how far he can actually play with a wide open wide receiver, yeah.
Yeah, the only problem, I know he had his pro day recently, but I don't take a whole lot of stock out of that because, number one, yes, you get to see how far he can throw. You can see how accurate he can throw to a certain degree because he's not taking any pressure. You know, he doesn't have a defense charging at him.
But you also got to remember, he also still has that left shoulder injury that he's getting surgery on too.
Yeah, he is going to have surgery on his labrum. I think it was scheduled here within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I want to say it's next week if I'm correct.
So, and he's supposed to be ready to play by start of the season. So,
let's hope that works.
We'll see. We'll get to see early enough, how he does in a game situation. But that's the whole thing. I am not going to take too much stock in what I saw from the pro day. I'm going to take more in stock of what I see when he plays, if he plays in a preseason game this season.
Oh, yeah. If he plays that preseason game.
If he does not play in a single preseason game, then he will not be the day one starter. I can guarantee you that.
I see him still being the day one starter. No. I really do.
Nope. I guarantee you they would be stupid to take that kind of a risk.
Not really.
Yes, really. I would rather retain Gardner Minshew as the possibility for the day one starter, take that loss week 1 and 2, and then maybe start to work him in.
I say really, it's like if he can't play any of the preseasons, I say these gonna be day one, just for the simple fact they want to see what he can do on the field for the first half.
I'm not putting him. Who is his? I mean, do we even know their day one team that they're playing? The opening
nope.
team that they're playing yet?
No one's put out the schedule yet.
Okay, so we've got to see who they're playing. Like that's going to depend. It is going to depend a lot on who they're playing because. But my thing is I would not want if they're playing Indianapolis week 1.
Oh yeah, no.
I would not start him.
No, but
especially if he has not played any of the preseason, and he's Here's my thing, Jaguars. If you're going to go after Trevor Lawrence,
I really see if they do play the Bengals, he would start.
Okay, maybe that one, just because the Bengals still need some work on their defense. Plus, they're not a division rival.
Exactly.
But arguably, right now, I think one of the two top defenses in the league is the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, yeah.
If they face the Colts, they would be stupid to start him.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, though. What I was trying to say is, to the Jacksonville Jaguars, if we all know you're going to take Trevor Lawrence number 1 overall. We know that's happening. You pretty much all but said that that's what's going to happen. If you do this, if for some reason he is not recovered from his surgeries, he's not able to play, he's physically unable to play in the preseason games, do not start him week 1. And if he is not ready, if he's not physically to even practice by week 1 or 2 of the season, shut him down for the season. Do not play him that first year. Have him sit behind, have him watch every game.
You use him as a third string instead of a second string.
Use him as an emergency quarterback only.
Yeah, which would be the third string.
Yeah. I mean, that basically means tanking another year, but hell, you did it this year. You weren't too upset about it, it seems. So maybe you can go out and, build a better offensive line with some of the picks you got for next year. But honestly, unless he can practice during OTAs and mini camps and actually get some game time in the preseason, you should not start him week 1. Now, if he's able to play and practice during, if he's able to be there for OTAs and mini camps, and he's able to play a decent amount during the preseason, and you think he's ready to go in game 1, okay, let's see what the kid can do. But like I said, if for some reason he cannot practice or play during the preseason, absolutely do not start him in game 1. Otherwise, you are looking at another Blake Bortles.
Oh, yeah.
You will destroy that man for his entire career.
Yep. And
you could even force a career-ending injury in his first game of the season.
And there's also a big thing with also Andrew Luck, too. That
he's not coming back.
With him, he's been thinking about it, and the coach always said it's like,
They've got Carson Wentz. He's obviously not coming. If Luck does come back, it'll be within the next 5 years as a coach.
But here's the thing: it's like he has actually been talking to his wife, and he's been chatting with the Colts too about coming back, and the Colts would rather have him than Wentz. They actually already said that.
Well, I mean, obviously they went out and got Wentz. That means Luck is not coming back.
Not necessarily. Probably for this season, no. But within the next couple seasons...
He can't wait too much longer. He's going to be in his 30s pretty soon, and he's been out of the league already for 3 years. Or 2 years. I think it's 2 years.
It was definitely a big thing that his wife and him actually talked to a reporter saying he has been thinking about coming back. He has actually been in talk with the GM of the Colts.
I see him coming back as a coach within, 10, 15 years.
Yeah. Let's see how old he is. He's actually...
Like 28 or 29?
He's going to be 32 this year.
Oh, he's already in his 30s.
He was born in 89. But it's like... He does miss the game.
Yeah, and I can understand that. He retired very young. To many people, he retired before he should have. But I mean, that was a decision he made. I'm sure he talked with his wife. I'm sure he talked with other people before making that decision.
And I guarantee the GM said that that's fine. If you want to come back, just let us know. Here's the number.
Yeah, but I don't, personally, at this point, I don't see him coming back as a player.
I do see him coming back as a player. I do, at least.
Well, we're going to have to agree to disagree on that one.
And we'll see who's right.
Yeah. But show's running kind of long, so I think we need to kind of wrap it up.
I know we're getting probably a little over an hour at this point.
But anyways, thank you guys for joining us again. We're sorry it took so long to get episode 2 out. I can't make any solid promises that something like this won't happen again. Unfortunately, life is crazy right now with everything that's going on.
We also live in 2 different cities.
Yeah, and of course we don't see each other on almost a daily basis anymore. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. We know we kind of went a little long. We didn't reach everything we wanted to talk about. I know we wanted to talk about a little bit more on the Alex Smith thing, but we'll have to discuss that.
But this will give us some extra time to do a little bit more research on what's going on with that one too.
Yeah, and of course we'll probably have a definitive decision on whether or not. Well, I mean, we pretty much said he's pretty much said that they're parting ways. Thank you for coming in and joining us once again. Sorry it took so long to get episode 2 out.
Which is why we want to make this one a little bit longer, just to
we wanted to cover everything that we had missed over the last couple of weeks.
but we're still not caught up. But we're gonna continue that.
No,
And hopefully, be caught up next week.
Yep, we're working on that for you. And yes, life has been hectic for me, as I stated earlier in the episode. Unfortunately, I am no longer working for Amazon. I'm currently unemployed. So that is going to give me a little bit more time to kind of work on things for the channel. So hopefully I can get that, get other stuff up and going, like our Twitter page and stuff like that. So look for that in the coming days. My personal Twitter handle, you can follow me right now. I will be doing more NFL stuff. Give me just a second here. I'm trying to talk so that way there's not dead air. My personal Twitter handle that you can follow me at, that I will be posting information for the 3 Yards in a Cloud of Dust Twitter stuff and other contact information when it goes up. You can follow me currently at _NFL nerd.
And you can also find me under Johnny or Jonathan, whichever one. You will not miss me. I have a black cat on my home screen.
So yeah, so if you like, you can follow us there. And we're gonna be posting the news there until we get the official Twitter page for this channel up and running. Obviously, we're up on YouTube right now. I'm going to be trying to get us up on Apple and Spotify here within the next couple of weeks. So hopefully you'll do us a favor, subscribe there, and of course here on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe. Any support you can give us will help the channel grow.
And if you have any suggestions, please put it in the comments. We'll be reading I'll at least be reading the comments and relaying them back and figuring everything out.
And we'll try to be as responsive as possible.
Yep.
So
I'm on YouTube on a daily, so that shouldn't be too hard for me.
As am I. So once again, thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. And until the next one, we'll see you later.
Bye.